She only wanted to deposit a check, an ordinary day at the bank. But within minutes, whispers turned into accusations, and a simple transaction spiraled into a nightmare. The manager's call summoned something far worse than embarrassment. It brought the FBI, ready to treat her like a criminal. Yet what none of them expected was that this very moment would flip the script in front of everyone watching. How could a woman so quickly go from suspect to someone the FBI would salute? It started like any other morning. She dressed neatly, grabbed her bag, and headed to the bank to take care of a simple errand, something she had done countless times before. To anyone passing by, she looked like every other professional walking with purpose, her life built on discipline, hard work, and quiet pride. She had faced challenges before, but nothing could have prepared her for what was waiting behind those glass doors. The air inside felt routine. Customers filling out slips, the low hum of printers, the distant sound of coins counting. She stood in line, holding a check, just a piece of paper, yet one that seemed to draw stares. The manager's eyes narrowed, the way some people look when they've already decided who you are before hearing a word. She couldn't have known that in minutes, this ordinary errand would explode into something far bigger than a deposit. What was about to unfold wasn't just about her. It was about a system, a judgment, and a moment that would be remembered by everyone who witnessed it. The moment she stepped up to the counter, the energy in the room shifted. The teller glanced at the check, then at her, and the pause lingered just a little too long. A quiet exchange with the manager followed. Hushed voices, suspicious eyes, and suddenly the routine task didn't feel so routine anymore. The manager approached, polite on the surface, but sharp underneath. Questions piled up, each one heavier than the last. Where did she get the check? Did she have proof of her identity? Why was the amount so large? To others, these might have seemed like standard precautions, but to her, it was clear. This wasn't about policy, it was about her. The whispers started next. Customers shifting, watching, some leaning closer as though waiting for a scene. Her chest tightened, but she kept her posture steady. She'd worked too hard to let fear show. Still, the tension mounted with every passing second. Then came the moment that broke the air wide open. The manager picked up the phone. She heard him say the words suspicious, possible fraud, request immediate assistance. He wasn't calling for clarification, he was calling the FBI. Time seemed to slow. She could feel the stares pressing against her back. A mother pulled her child closer, as though standing near her was dangerous. Another man smirked, whispering to his friend. And she stood there, frozen in disbelief, her dignity crumbling under the weight of assumptions. The seconds dragged, until the doors opened. Agents walked in, their presence heavy, their eyes scanning the room, until they landed on her. No handcuffs yet, but the air was thick with judgment. The crowd leaned in closer, eager to see this suspect brought down. And in that moment, one thought pulsed in her mind. This could end everything. Her reputation, her career, her safety. But what no one knew, what not even she fully realized, was that this confrontation was about to flip in a way no one could predict. The agents closed in, their presence towering, their eyes sharp with suspicion. Papers were demanded, questions hurled like weapons, each one cutting deeper than the last. The crowd leaned forward, phones raised, recording every second of her humiliation. She tried to explain her job, her credentials, the legitimacy of the check. But her words fell into silence, drowned out by the weight of disbelief. The manager stood off to the side, arms folded, a smug satisfaction etched on his face as though justice was being served. One of the agents reached for his cuffs. The cold metal glinting in the fluorescent light sent a chill down her spine. Her breath caught. Was this really happening? Her heart thundered, not just from fear, but from the crushing realization of what this moment represented. She wasn't just fighting for herself. She was standing in the center of a centuries-old stage where the verdict came too often before the evidence. Then it happened. As the agent scanned her documents, something shifted. His eyes paused. Recognition dawning. A sudden stiffness straightened his posture. He glanced at his partner, then back at her, and the entire room seemed to hold its breath. The cuffs lowered, the air thick with confusion, and then he saluted. Right there, in the middle of the bank, in front of every stunned customer and a manager who could barely process what he was seeing.
The woman they had nearly dragged away in disgrace was someone far greater than any of them had imagined. But the question lingered. Why? What had they just discovered about her that flipped the script so completely? The truth landed like a shockwave. The agents had finally recognized who she was. Not a criminal, not a fraudster, but a decorated professional, someone whose service and achievements carried weight even at the highest levels. The salute wasn't just respect, it was an admission of their mistake. A reversal that exposed the dangerous assumptions fueling every second of her humiliation. The crowd fell silent. Phones lowered. Even the manager, once so confident, shrank back under the weight of his own prejudice. She stood there, composed, but the damage had already been done. Because while she walked out without handcuffs, the sting of what happened couldn't be erased. This moment wasn't about one bank, one check, or one woman. It was about the ease with which suspicion is cast, the speed at which dignity is stripped, and the painful reminder that too often, being black in America means you are guilty until proven innocent. For her, the salute was hollow compared to the insult. It was proof of a system that still needs reckoning, a system where respect only comes when status or credentials are revealed, when humanity alone should have been enough. And so the question remains, how many more salutes will it take before suspicion is replaced with trust? How many more humiliations before justice no longer depends on recognition or rank? This wasn't just her story. It is the story of countless others. Stories that deserve to be seen, remembered, and never ignored again. Because until the day comes when walking into a bank doesn't carry risk, when dignity isn't conditional, we are all left asking the same haunting question. When will it finally change?